Dramatic music. ARK Digital badge appears host on camera. Imagine losing your home, your savings, or even your job all in a matter of months. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, this nightmare became reality for millions during the American subprime mortgage crisis. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what happened, why it happened, and how it changed the global economy forever. Welcome to ARK Digital. Let's dive in. Cut to visuals of falling housing graphs, banks and foreclosures. What was the subprime mortgage crisis? Voiceover host. The subprime mortgage crisis hit between 2007 and 2010. And it wasn't just an American problem, it triggered a global financial crisis. Millions of people lost jobs, homes, and life savings. Businesses went bankrupt, banks collapsed, and governments had to step in with emergency measures like TARP and the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. At the core was the housing bubble. Home prices skyrocketed. Lenders offered risky mortgages to borrowers with poor credit. And financial institutions packaged these loans into mortgage-backed securities, MBS, and collateralized debt obligations, CDOs. On paper, these seemed safe because rating agencies gave them high ratings, but the reality was far riskier. Visual stack of papers labeled MBS and CDOs with warning signs how the bubble burst host. The bubble peaked around 2006, and things started to unravel when housing prices fell and interest rates rose. Borrowers could no longer refinance, leading to skyrocketing mortgage defaults and foreclosures. Banks and investors who had bet heavily on these securities suddenly faced massive losses. By September 2008, giants like Lehman Brothers declared bankruptcy, creating chaos in credit markets and plunging the US into a severe recession. Visual Lehman Brothers logo. Falling dominoes of banks causes of the crisis. Voiceover host. The crisis wasn't caused by just one thing. Experts point to several key factors. Subprime lending. Risky loans were given to people who couldn't afford them. Housing speculation. Investors assumed home prices would always rise. Financial innovation. MBS and CDOs made risk invisible. Global capital inflows. Foreign investment, combined with low interest rates, fueled easy credit. Shadow banking. Hedge funds and investment banks borrowed short-term to invest in risky long-term assets. Put together, these factors created a perfect storm that few were prepared for. Visual animation of a storm hitting a city of houses labeled U.S. Housing Market Economic Impact host. The effects were devastating. In the U.S., nearly 9 million jobs were lost in 2008-2009. Household net worth dropped by $13 trillion, a 20% decline. Housing prices fell by 30%, and the stock market lost about 50% of its value. Europe wasn't spared either. Countries like Iceland, Ireland, and the UK faced banking crises, while Greece, Spain, Portugal struggled with sovereign debt issues. Globally, the financial system was shaken to its core, highlighting the urgent need for financial regulation reforms. Visual world map showing affected countries. Falling graphs. Government response. Voiceover host. The US government took bold action to stabilize the system. The Federal Reserve slashed interest rates from 5.25% to near zero, introduced emergency lending programs to provide liquidity. TARP injected $626 billion into failing institutions. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac were placed under government conservatorship later. The Dodd-Frank Act was enacted in 2010 to prevent another crisis. This law created the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and limited risky bank activities. Visual Fed building, TARP funds, graphics, Dodd-Frank book, animation, social and political consequences host. The crisis also changed society. In the US, movements like Occupy Wall Street emerged, protesting economic inequality and the influence of Wall Street. Across Europe, anti-austerity protests and populist political movements gained momentum. Even today, the crisis has left a lasting mark on public trust in financial institutions and governments. Visual protest footage, Occupy Wall Street banners, European demonstrations,